While watching this year's World Cup take place, there was an issue I noticed that I saw people touch on, but I didn't actually see anyone really dive into it. It didn't matter if I was watching Argentina, France, England, or a random group stage match between two countries. I could give less of a fuck about. The issue was that every single player is wearing pink boots. Seriously, like a sea of pink. Nike, pink. Adidas, pink. Puma, pink. New Balance, pink.
Whoa, calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the 9.
I don't hate the color pink. I think pink creates some of the best boots that we've seen in the game. And personally, as a footballer myself, I've worn pink cleats. The Merc Superfly 9 Luminous pack, for those of us who remember. The issue, though, was that the pink cleats, like Dash says in The Incredibles, when everyone is special, no one's special. And that's the problem. Me, as a player, I used it to show what I could do and how I could play. But today, boots have kind of just become an item, a uniform, if you want to put it that way. And this World Cup is really showing this issue. So let's go talk about why this is happening. Because yes, there's an actual reason for it, sadly. And then we're going to take a trip down memory lane to the last 3 World Cups, which were 2014, 2018, and 2022. To remember when brands actually brought their own ideas, their own flair, and their own charm to the biggest stage of the game we all love. Now, before we get into that nostalgia bait that you're all here for and excited for, you're probably wondering, how did we even get here in the first place? All the design departments didn't get into a fucking Zoom call and just think, hey, pink. But from a recent interview that I found by Footy Headlines, who shout out to them, they were the goats in making this video. The interview was before the World Cup with Odinga Namako, who's the senior figure on Nike's global footwear football. That's a tongue twister. Fuck. The interview was with Odinga Namako, who is a senior figure on Nike's global football footwear team. And his explanation tells us everything that we need to know about the state of the boot industry and how we got here in the first place with pink. According to him, it came down to 2 things really: player psychology and maximum broadcast visibility. First, they realized that players want to look the best and feel the best when playing in the game. As he literally says, when you wear a color like pink that is so loud and so bright, you need to be really good to wear these. It's a swagger thing. It demands elite performance. But the second reason was that pink shows the most when you're watching it on TV compared to the green grass. So let's put an equation together. If Nike got this idea from pretty simple, not simple, but pretty tricky to find data, what would everyone else get? And that's the irony that the article is really pointing out. It's that by trying to make players stand out as much as possible on the TV, they caused literally the exact opposite effect. Every brand bought pink, every player looks the same. Whether you're Cristiano Ronaldo, whether you're Florian Wirtz, whether you're Leroy Sané, everyone looks the same. The only players who do end up standing out though are players who aren't wearing pink boots at all. Think Crescencio Somerville, or think Michael Olise. My issue with brands using so much data is that instead of boots becoming an expression of art, they become science. And that's where I believe we start to lose the soul of boots. 2014, Brazil. Personally, this was my first World Cup that I actually sat through and watched the whole way. And to me, this was the golden generation of brand identity and boots in general, because every company brought its own vibe. Every company brought something different. And let's start with Nike. 2014 was their year, honestly. They literally changed the game. This debut of the Flyknit and the GOAT of soccer technology, the sock, the high collar. Nike dropped their collection with 2 different colorways. First, you had the Magista Obra and the Tiempo Legend 5 with the neon volt yellow with the red. But let's be honest, we don't care about that. We're here for the Merc Superfly 4 and the Hyper Venom Phantom with that Hyper Punch red. Think back to Mario Götze's volley against Argentina in the final. Neymar's running those gold Hyper Venoms, I believe it was. until he got, you know,
Need in the back.
then you looked at Adidas. They had that battle pack. It was tough. It was crazy. It was aggressive with that black and white geometric pattern that I learned was inspired by the war paint. It was Brazilian Warriors. Kind of crazy Adidas, but okay. Then you looked at Messi, and he had his customs with the blue line going across the pattern down the center. Honestly, I didn't even know those were his customs. I thought he just, you know, had blue on it. Then Puma dropped the Tricks pack for the Evo Power and the Evo Speed. One boot, pink. The other boot, blue. Balotelli, vibes, flair. A distinct aesthetic that if you looked on the field, you knew that player was a Puma athlete and you knew that player was going to do something crazy. This World Cup was honestly peak because there was no copying, there was no same colors, there was no same vibe. Everyone was really competing to see who could be more creative, who could honestly get more sales. Let's fast forward to 2018, Russia. Honestly, when you look at this year, you could see when the brand started to take a cleaner approach, a different approach to boots. But when you looked at it, they were all still staying in their own lane. Nike had that Just Do It pack. It was pretty clean, honestly. All white uppers that had the chrome sole plates on the bottom. But they didn't just stop there. They also had the signatures to back it up. Think Ronaldo's Born Leader Mercs, Neymar's Muse Jogo Vapor 360s. Those were special boots. Those were exclusive boots. And while Nike brought the white, Adidas brought the neon with that energy mode pack. Puma dropped the Illuminate Your Game pack, and New Balance with the Ostruska pack. Once again, everyone was in their own lane. Everyone felt different. Lastly, our latest edition, 2022, Qatar. Nike gave us the Generation pack, heavily inspired by Qatar itself, with copper and gold going along, the Mercurials, the Phantom GTs, the Tiempos, so on and so forth. You also had the first edition of the Phantom GX in the bright pink. You also had the customs like the Mbappe's. God, such a simple thing with a French flag on the bottom made that boot look so good. And then you look over at Adidas. Adidas. Let's take a step back here. Who the fuck looked at those three boots and decided, let's put those out? Who in their right mind thought it was a good idea to post up those three boots? Who looked at those three soles and was like, hey, this is it. This is it. If you don't know, Adidas released the Alvila pack, which used the same color as the ball, but all these boots were ugly. The colors weren't ugly. The boots themselves were ugly, and that's my issue with this pack, because this pack sucks so much ass. Oh my god, the Copa's disgusting. Disgustingly ugly. Oh my god. The Predators, Adidas had a long streak of some pretty shitty Predators. Honestly, not up until the most recent Predators we're just getting. And then Speed Portal, which honestly you could say is the only boot that was solid in this pack, but it still made people look like they were wearing clown shoes. If you wore these boots, I'm sorry for you. Honestly, I'm sorry for you. So, other than giving us the ugliest boot pack in World Cup history, they made up for it by giving us one of the best storytelling boots of all time. Messi's Leyenda X Speed Portal. You know the boots, the gold, the blue, the white. A boot made for a champion. A boot made for a player like Lionel Messi. Puma had the Fearless pack, which with the red uppers, the neon yellow accents. New Balance came out with the headline taker with the blue, the gray, the neon green. And even in 2022, when you looked at the field, everyone was different. Once again, you could tell a Nike athlete in the metallic copper. You could tell a Puma athlete in the blazing red. You could tell Messi in his gold, and Adidas athletes in ugly in their hunks of shit on their feet. And ultimately, all of this just brings us back to right now. Look, science is great. Actually, fuck science. Give us back flair. Give us back the identity of boots. Brands need to start taking risk again, honestly, with boots. because boots aren't just something you wear to play the game. Obviously, that's what they are, but that's not 100% what they are. They're a culture, they're a style, they're an expression of the game of football entirely. And when boots all look the same, no one looks different, no one stands out. That's all I have to say for now. If you watched throughout the entire video, I kindly thank you. This is my first video, and it is taking me a lot of confidence to put this out. And yes, this might go out after the World Cup is done. Don't hate me for it. But yeah, if you liked this video, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. There will be more content coming soon. Hopefully, I also stream on Twitch at StuffbyM as well. And I will see you in the next video. Hopefully.